get on track. I'm talking never too late. The podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Never Too Late podcast, where that insight is always going to meet real talk. Fellas, what's going on, man?
What's good?
We are
Great.
As y'all can see,
yeah.
we are not in our six squares this week, right? We are all right here on the couch. We kicking back. We about to get into it. So, I'll start it off. I'm your boy, Mr. Nick, to the J Cross, holding it down for the light skins as always, man. What's up?
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cam HK. It's your boy Jack in the building.
Jay here checking in. Was good.
Young boy, young Marco, man.
It's your boy Kwamazing Grace. I'm in the building, man. What's going on?
That's right, man. What's going on? We all are the Brew. Yes, sir. So happy Juneteenth to everybody. And Jordan, let's go ahead and get into that news rundown, man. What you got for us today?
All right. So, in today's news, the officers involved in the shooting of Rayshard Brooks have been turned in and have been charged with murder and aggravated assault. We are thankful for this justice being served, but in that aspect, we want to keep pushing until Breonna Taylor receives her justice as well. In health news, the mortality rates of COVID-19 hit 10K, or possibly could hit 10K by October. And so we want to make sure y'all are still being safe, keep wearing your mask. I know things are opening back up, but still, make sure you do your due diligence.
Social distance.
For today's Black Excellence, I want to highlight a Black female psychologist by the name of Dr. Ebony Butler. She is a licensed psychologist and food relationship strategist who is the creator of My Therapy Cards, which are the first card deck and self-help tool of its kind, and that is created to help women of color through self-limiting beliefs and habits, keeping them from developing their highest selves. Shout out to Dr. Butler for that amazing product right there, and make sure y'all go support her as well.
Shout out to the Queens, man.
Salute. Yes,
Back to you, Nick.
Appreciate it, Jordan. Always holding us down with that news, man. Making sure we are informed. So, let's go ahead and get into our first segment of the day, guys, and that is What's Brewing. So much brewing on right now. But, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start off with some music news today, man. So, he back, man. The real is back. The Ville is back.
Come on,
I'm just saying, right? Mr. J. Cole has returned. Snow on the Bluff has been released. He has finally made a statement. He is trying to get back into the game right now, man. But, as always, man, with this new society right now, they trying to cancel J. Cole.
There'll be some pushback.
They did not. Some people on Twitter, they were not feeling what J. Cole was saying in the song. As it has come out, was actually talking about No Name. So, guys, I want to hear you. I want to just get the floor open. What do you guys think? Is Mr. J. Cole canceled?
The short answer is no. The short answer is no. But the situation is more complicated than that.
Okay.
Is it really?
Okay.
Elaborate. Talk to
Yeah.
him.
What makes it a little more complicated?
Well, personally, I don't think that the song, there was an issue. But at the same time, I do feel like with everything going on, we can't be dismissive of claims from Black women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying I agree with what they're saying, but at the same time, there is a lot of frustration behind those words. And I don't think necessarily it's not, you can't treat every case in isolation. So we can't just look at this, even though this doesn't really seem to fit the bill.
Right.
You got to understand the history, and there's a lot more going on. I think awareness of it is more important.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. Anybody else want to? It's J. Cole cancel, man. I feel like all of us have said no. Everybody said no. Hey, man, look, I'm telling you, in our society right now, everybody's trying to get canceled. They're trying to cancel everybody.
Cancel culture.
We got to cut
cancel culture, bro. It's an issue.
So it's a bigger issue than that. Okay.
Cole not really even worried about it. You feel me? Like he put out what he put out. He said what he had to say. He gonna move on. You feel me? I don't feel like we should be putting the Black community against each other in the first place. You
I agree.
What I'm saying? So I don't feel like it should be the forefront of what we even talking about right now. But in the music world, it is big, and you can't sit here and say that Cole has not talked about the issues that we face as Black men in the society.
Right.
So you can't dismiss what he's done for the movement and for the culture. That's just how I feel. So hell no, Cole not canceled. Cole do his part, just like Kendrick do his part. And those are the only two artists that those tweets that No Name put out could be directed towards, really.
I was about to say, Cole be out there on the front lines. He was out there protesting.
But wasn't it about that, though?
We're going to look at misogynists. We're going to look at misogynistic men regardless. Like,
Right.
So J. Cole is putting out a song about how ignorant he is to the issue, and he don't want to be the wokest person all the time. He put himself in that place because he talks about those issues. We forget that J. Cole is mixed, so like we don't even know like how black is J. Cole, and we over here all relying on him and stuff like that. The second J. Cole doesn't deliver the blackest message known to man, it's just like, all right, J. Cole, this is a rap for you, bro. Like, dang, like I never knew a tweet really would carry so much weight if you out here really putting in work. You feel me? Like, that's what's crazy about it, bro. Celebrity voices have really just been put as a tweet lately, like social media. What's your social media relevance?
Social media changed
everything.
As opposed to your real life.
That's
It's
the
an issue.
Yeah,
It's a millennial thing, bro. They say that like your status is determined on how many people like your picture or
retweet
your tweets and whatnot. It don't. None of that stuff matters. What
No,
are you doing for your community? None of that matters.
Why is it that we go ahead?
No, you good.
I would say, why is it that we look for so much validation through social media? Like, you have to make a post to say, "Oh yeah, I'm out here. I'm out here protesting." Think about all the people that's actually out there protesting that don't take pictures.
Right.
That
A lot
don't
of
post
that's-
anything. I tell you
Honestly,
for myself, I've been out there protesting, but
You don't
I don't post
nothing.
pictures. I don't post nothing. But I'm
It
out there
makes
with
you
my
question
people.
their intent.
I'm about to say,
You feel
I
me?
feel like people go out there and take pictures just to post and say,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Clout.
Exactly.
It's all clout,
Nah.
man. So I definitely want to say J. Cole really was getting a lot of backlash because people felt as if like he wasn't speaking up enough. Like when all this was going on, they were like, "Where's J. Cole?" And I really appreciate how J. Cole came back with his tweets and everything and was just saying how he did not feel as if like he should be going out here trying to be a leader because he even admitted he hasn't been doing a lot of research. And I can really appreciate that because you don't want a blind leader just going out there like I was saying for clout.
And at the end of the day,
I appreciate
that's
it.
actually leading right there by taking that, having that
Yeah.
integrity. Like, I don't know
Right.
enough on this matter to sit here and talk
But
about
she
it.
do. And he
Yeah.
added her. He was like,
Right.
hey, y'all need to
I
follow
mean,
her.
He even
though.
shouted her
So
out.
even
Everything.
even
Right.
with that, in the song, do y'all feel like it was a diss track for real?
It was-
All right,
It
so
was
the
not
way I
good.
see the song, and I think this is real. Like, for me personally, I saw it as in black society, we're too busy trying to outwoke each other in this, polarizing people.
Yeah.
Because I know, y'all know where we grew up, man. Ignorance runs rapid. Like, when I got to Georgia Tech, like, it was eye-opening seeing a lot of people, like black people, and how woke they were. And it can be intimidating going into an environment. Like, you got to be woke to some degree to know that you're not woke enough and that you need to seek more education. So when people like judgmental about it, it makes it hard for other people to get on to the message, and they avoid those conversations, so they miss out on education. And I think that's what J. Cole was addressing with his song, and people kind of took it as like you're silencing black women.
Dang, bro,
Talk
you
to
might
him.
need to put out a
I'm
track.
about to
Dang.
Talk to him.
I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
straight like that.
That's
was
really a good
perfect.
summarization right there, man.
So, I mean, as you can see, as we said, on this podcast, J. Cole is not canceled,
No.
man. So,
Hey,
as
hey,
far as
hey,
everybody
podcast,
out there that want to
Cole.
cancel him, that's your own personal business. For us, we rocking with you, J. Cole. Keep doing your thing, man. Also, shout out to some new music that also dropped today, man. If everybody go out there and check out Tiana Taylor's new album, The Album. She sounded so happy, so comfortable in her zone on that album, man. Make sure you guys check that out. Mr. Anderson .Paak also dropped the song too, Lockdown. He's in his element too, man. Shout out to Anderson. And Cam, you even told me that Young Boy just dropped something too, right?
Yeah, you know my boy, Young Boy. He just dropped something with Lil Baby. Y'all gotta check my boy.
Lil Baby, he
Hey,
running that
Baby.
right?
Oh, yeah,
No,
no,
Lil
Lil
Baby,
Baby
running
right
that
now.
game.
Lil Baby on top of the game right
He's
now.
not.
Can we talk about how
Yeah.
Baby really just took over 2020?
Oh, okay.
Oh no, he on top.
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah,
I was
so
about to say,
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on.
I'm about to say, because y'all know we still got to get into the Lil Baby and Gunna debate as well,
That's
too.
coming
We gotta talk
soon.
about that.
That's coming soon.
Hey,
Right now though, I don't know if it's a debate.
I'm about to say, it's not a debate
It
right
ain't
now.
really a
I ain't
debate.
gonna-
It ain't really
now.
a debate. We
I-
just gonna say shout out
Some
to Lil
people
Baby.
might, hey.
They
No, I
both
will
doing
say-
it. Come on, my boy.
I will say I was too critical for that last Gunna project.
We
I
went
will
back and
camp
we
my
listened to it
statement.
again.
Because I'm
We
telling you,
listened to it again.
Because I'm
It
telling
was
you,
heat.
you want to
It wasn't, what we expected, but it was still
still
heat.
fire,
So I
yeah.
gotta give my boy credit for that one. My
Right.
apologies, Sergio Giovanni Kitchens. That's my bad. I spoke too harsh on your name.
You're a friend of the podcast.
He's
Yeah.
ready to
Dropping government names like that.
I
Right.
want him, man.
But, all right, man. Shout out to some that music news right there, man. But Mr. Marco, my guy, I know we got some sport news going on right now, man. So what's up?
Let's go ahead and talk about this smoke screen the NBA trying to put out there with this season reboot. Now my boy Kyrie done sided with the OG Stacks. You feel me, Steven Jackson, who is actually a close friend of the late George Floyd. Man, shout out to Steven Jackson for pushing the movement, and we send the condolences to George Floyd's family.
Always. But
yeah, Kyrie's on the side of a 3-stack saying that he don't think right now is the time that we need to be dribbling the basketball. You feel me? So how do y'all feel in regards to Kyrie and the players that stand behind him? Because there are a lot of players around the league that's waking up and it's like, I don't really know if we should be confined in one space in Orlando and we all have this powerful voice and they're trying to put us all in this one spot, quarantine. So how y'all feel about that little view on rebooting the season, man?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, the whole reason for this whole NBA thing or whatnot is just to make money. It's all a money thing. And so Kyrie is making a valid point by saying we should put this to the side and focus on what's going on at hand, focus on these injustices that are going to our people and whatnot. And so he thinks that playing in the NBA and having this going on at the same time is going to take our eyes off of that because, people are going to use that as a distraction and stuff like that. But we actually need to focus on what's going on so everybody gets their own due justice. All that stuff too. So I agree with him definitely.
You're right, 100%. And I support that movement if they do actually want to start another league. Like, there's been too many other entities making way too much money off of black people, and we not getting enough of it. They getting their contracts, but ownership is the biggest thing. Like we talked about last week, it's all about ownership. It's all about those residuals. Because when you own something, you don't get money whether you working in it or not, and we need more of that in our community.
So how do y'all feel about the division though? Because y'all know LeBron is hey, we need to bring the season back.
Pat Bev said
the king is spoken. We need to follow what LeBron said. We need to play.
And that's also the other second reason why the NBA trying to get back started. But we ain't gonna get in. We'll talk about the first point. Then we'll get into the other reason why they trying to bring it back.
Do y'all feel like that's showing a division amongst us? If Kyrie is over here on one point, even though Kyrie and LeBron have had their differences, isn't that showing a bigger division on a big stage? I feel like that's weakening us.
Yeah.
That's showing the chinks.
But we also don't understand. We don't know what they're talking about behind the scenes. You feel me? Because they could be on the same accord. We don't feel like we should play. We feel like we should play. All right, well, we feel like we need to get this out of this. We can play as long as we have these things in order, these parameters, what we need to see from the league in order to start that. Yeah. So that might be the conversation that they're having behind closed doors. We never know. But it does show the division, and it is interesting, and it's low-key giving more hype. It like you said, it's taken away from the movement because everybody want to know, what the NBA going to do. Them boys not agreeing what they going to do.
Right.
So I feel like they just need to come up with a set agreement of this is what we need to get started with the season. And then if this not met, then we're not going to play. And they need to come to an agreement quickly, swiftly, so we can get back to the problem that's at hand.
Let's not forget, though, that not every player that's playing right now is LeBron. They're not Kyrie. They don't have money saved up for the rest of their lives. They don't have endorsements from Nike and Gatorade. Some of these dudes that are playing right now need this money to feed their family. They need it. They have so many mouths to take care of that we don't even know about. So while I do agree with y'all, I wish it would be nice for them to take the season off. Let's really put the focus on black lives and taking care of each other. But at the end of the day, some of these people are not going to be able to take care of their own family.
I mean,
yeah.
I was talking
about. I was about to say, just to kind of piggyback off of that, Cam, because, I've been watching ESPN and I've been hearing a lot of different perspectives and stuff like that, man. And the sportscasters are definitely saying, why don't the NBA players, if they continue through with the season, use the platform that they will have, all the cameras, everything is going to be down there in Orlando. They're going to be following them around the bubble, around the hotel, doing all that stuff. Why can't they use their platform there to try and speak on the racial injustices? Just a thought. Right.
That's what I'm saying. So y'all remember when this happened with Eric Gardner, everybody wore the I Can't Breathe shirts. Mm-hmm. But what happened after that? You feel me? There was no huge revolution. It was just
dribble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel me? All that stuff happened, and there's never been a change. They didn't start emphasizing black life. We still been going through killings. We could put it on a big stage, but would a big stage contribute to a real change? You feel me? So it don't matter. We can play.
We're past the point of awareness.
Facts.
Everybody knows now.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It
But
don't matter.
But
It's
it's only so much action they can do in the bubble, though.
No, I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
I see the
Yeah.
argument. I see the argument from
Mhm.
both sides, and it's really like I can't fault nobody for going either way.
Yeah.
Like I see Kyrie's point, like, man, I'm sick of this. We gonna play because yada yada yada,
Yeah.
or we not gonna play because yada yada yada. But like I also see, like, to Cam's point, like, I mean, think about it. All of us still go to work. We
Yeah.
not like, I mean, our situation, of course, different financially, but
Right.
at the end of the day, like, they're doing this as their job. So like, we can't really fault nobody. We not finna just walk out on our jobs
Right.
just for the, you know, like, life still has to go on. So I understand both sides of it.
Yeah. I'm about to say it definitely is a tough case right now. So we're definitely going to see what happens, man. They're still they've confirmed everything, right? So it's a go. Like,
it's a go.
everything is straight.
We
It's
not
just
gonna.
that
I'm not gonna sit
Yeah.
here and say it's a go because the
Because-
players still got a voice. If they say that they're not gonna play,
if
They not
the
gonna
top
play, right.
people in the league say that they're not playing, the NBA is going to have to pay attention to that.
I'm gonna say, let's be
Right.
honest though. If LeBron James
LeBron,
is
I'm
playing,
about to say LeBron said
it's,
it.
it's gonna be
And
okay.
that's the worst.
Because that's what everybody wants to see. Let's be honest.
Which goes
LeBron
back to
drives
the
rings.
reason, my second
Yeah.
reason why they're trying to start the NBA season, back to trying to get LeBron that next ring,
okay.
man. But hey, we ain't going to get into that.
Okay.
alright.
All
It's all
really
about
money.
money.
It's all about money.
All about
It's
money.
good LeBron,
Absolutely.
it's money.
That's the main important factor. Going into the sports realm is trying to get LeBron.
No, but so
They don't give a
You-
damn. It's money.
you think they filed for unemployment?
It's a good storyline. Yeah. But what
Now,
you
I
say?
feel like
NBA players file for
they have to have an agreement with the ownership committee about prorated fees, how they can get paid from that. Because at the end of the day, unemployment goes through your employer, which is the owners of the NBA. So
Right.
that's probably what they got going on
You can't be
with
broke.
that. I know we about to switch to another segment, but just last shouts out to my MLB players out there, man.
Yeah,
fighting for that
hold
first
down
week.
for real.
Right, yeah.
I know we talked about NASCAR last
Right.
week. We know that the number of African American black players in the league has gone down tremendously in the past decade. We're down to about 7% of the league. That's not acceptable. MLB, send me a contract. You feel me? But yeah, shout out to them players that are sticking up and saying that we need more diversity in the league. Marcus Stroman, Tim Anderson, Ken Griffey Jr., the OG, man.
Yes, sir.
So yeah,
Right.
shout out to them boys.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep pushing the movement, man. We're gonna keep trying to infiltrate that system.
Shout out to all of them, man. And definitely we appreciate the fact that these brothers are using their voice because of the fact that they're in the positions where when they talk, people are going to listen. And I know that this is a very important matter as well. Another thing that I just want them to, down the road address as well is like the lack of black coaches and GMs, man.
Oh yeah.
Across the board.
Of
in
athletics.
all athletics. So we'll get into that maybe next week a little bit. Who knows? But shout out to What's Brewing. We're about to go ahead and get into our first commercial break for Woke and Broke. Make sure y'all stay tuned into that Never Too Late podcast where the insight is always going to meet real talk, the most lucrative podcast out here, man.
Welcome, you guys, to another rendition of Woke and Broke, where we give you guys a few gems to hopefully help you guys become a little bit more financially stable, hopefully make you a little bit more financially savvy as well. This week, we're going to continue on the topic that we touched on last week, which is ownership, okay? And in ownership, we're just going to give you a few tips on how you can get into that elite class of owning your own property, all right? And the first one is simple. It's building your credit. Trust, right? Credit is pretty much the rate at which you pay money back that you spent that you didn't have. So that's loaned money, borrowed money, things as such, okay? Some of the best ways to build and maintain your credit would be to get a small bill, an expense that you know that you can maintain and you won't be late on. If you're staying at the house and you have no financial obligations, I would say pay something like the cable bill, get it in your name. If you're on your parents' phone plan and you are working, if you can maintain it, get the phone bill in your name. Get your own phone plan. That'll help to establish a line of I pay my bills and I pay them on time. Another great way to build credit would be to get a small credit card from your bank with maybe a maximum of $500 balance, right? You're going to use this card only for minor expenses like gas or things as such that you know you can pay down next time you get paid. You'll never want to spend over 50% of whatever that max is. So if it is a $500 max, you're never going to want to go over $250. Okay, and whenever you get paid, like I said, you're paying that card down, so it should never get that high. But if it does, you want to pay that down before you start swiping that card again. Another just great tip on maintaining your credit is to always know where you stand, where your credit score is. All right, there are a number of different credit agencies out there. Equifax. Make sure you check at least 3 credit firms, credit reporting firms, right? You want to have at least 3 of them so that you can average them out and make sure they're all in about the same range, okay? Because whoever you're trying to get money from, your lender, you don't know what specific credit company that they're gonna use to draw your report. So you want to make sure you have a wide range of where you stand from different credit agencies, okay? The next thing that we want to talk about will be building your capital, right? Saving for a rainy day. You want to always make sure you have a 6-month reserve before you look into buying a property, because as we see today, COVID might pop back up. You know what I'm saying? Another pandemic might break out. We might have an idiot in the office and you might lose your job. Anything can happen, and you want to always make sure you're prepared, but you want to also make sure that you have that on the front end before you jump into a financial obligation that could backfire. Okay, so make sure you build your capital reserve and make sure you're working on your credit daily. All right, I'm gonna talk to my brother Jack with some more great tips for you guys.
All right, the next couple steps are around building your team. The first thing you want to do is find an agent. You want to find somebody that's familiar with your area, somebody who communicates well and can walk you through this process, because it is a little complicated, especially if this is your first time. To find them, you want to look within your network. You know somebody that owns a home. You want to get them to refer you to the agent that they use, because that person is somebody you can trust, so you understand that if they give you a referral, then the referral should be a good agent. If you want to go with somebody that you found like online or in an ad somewhere, I recommend getting references from them, from people that they've used in the past, so they can give you an idea of how this person works. Agents are paid via closing costs, which are oftentimes paid by the seller at closing. Either way, you don't have to worry about paying them up front when they're helping you find a house. The second person you want to find is a lender, and you want to get pre-approved. So if you're going to get a house, more than likely you're going to get a mortgage on that house. So you'll need to find a lender that can provide you with that capital so you can purchase the property. The same thing with agents. You want to get referrals from somebody who's closed on a property. And you can also go through your bank or credit union, because more than likely they'll have a mortgage department that can help you secure a mortgage for your property. And also, one thing to note, what you're approved for is usually way more than what you actually want to spend. A lot of times we get approved for a high amount to buy a property, but you want to keep in mind that you will have a mortgage associated with that, and you want to make sure that whatever the mortgage is, you're comfortable paying that every month.
That's a great way to segue into our 5th little bullet point here, which would be select your target market and familiarize yourself with it, right? Like you just said, Jack, you're gonna more than likely get approved for a higher rate than you should be looking to spend. So you want to find and set that target margin, that target market for yourself, and then get familiar with that area, right? The schools in that area, the kind of community that it is. Is it something that you're looking for? Does it fit your characteristics and the personality that you have and what you're looking for out of your living environment, right? And then you take that and you weigh, is this a place that I want to live? If it is, we'll move forward. And my brother Jack will tell you guys more about what the next steps will be.
So now you have everything done. You have your lender, you have your agent, you understand the market. So now you're actually looking at properties. One thing I can say, you want to be patient in this process. It takes a while to get a good feel for a market and be able to understand what is actually a good deal and what really isn't. So understand what your non-negotiables are. Know what has to be in the property, or what features are needed and what can, be pushed aside. That'll help you in your decision making. Also, bring someone along for a second opinion. If it's somebody that'll be living there or just somebody you trust, you want to have a second set of eyes on the property so they may catch some things that you miss. Buying a house is no small feat. It takes a lot of work, but it will be very rewarding once you close. And it will also save you money and build wealth that you can pass down for generations to come. So thank you guys for tuning into this week's segment of Woke and Broke. Stay tuned for some more tips in the future.
Welcome back to the Never Too Late podcast, where the insight is always going to meet real talk. The most lucrative podcast. So, welcome back. Another great Woke and Broke segment as always. Thank you guys for always just giving us some knowledge on that stuff, man. Seriously, appreciate that. We need that out here. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into one of our favorite segments, the recipe.
Yes,
The
sir.
recipe, man. Let's see what we got cooking today. So, guys, Insecure just finished season 4.
Oh,
It did. Shout out to Issa Rae. Shout out to the whole team. All of them over there with Insecure. This season, well, honestly, the whole show has presented a lot of good points where people can have debates. People can, just like, why did Issa do that? Why did Molly do that? Why did Lawrence do that? So today, we're going to actually just dive into some of the higher points of this past season, and we're just going to just talk about it a little bit. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get into the first question about this season. So we saw Issa and Molly's friendship started really deteriorating throughout the season, and that is a test to them, becoming adults, right? So guys, I just want to know from us right now, we're starting to become, adults and everything out here with it. So how do you guys feel as if like you need to establish that?
Fuck his face, bro.
Boy, you ain't 30. You were still a young adult.
I wouldn't look at it like that. I wouldn't look at it. I just say, like, shit, I love all y'all, bro. As simple as that. Like, I don't feel like, I look at y'all as brothers, you feel me? So, like, I don't feel like it's not nothing that can take place at this point that we can't talk about. You feel me? I feel like we all adults, and I feel like we all have good communication skills. So I feel like we can talk about anything. I haven't seen the show personally, so I don't know what issues they had going on. I'm pretty sure y'all gonna fill me in.
Why are you the first one talking then?
Cause y'all was just talking about my face.
That don't mean you gotta talk.
Right.
So, Marcus, like I was saying, so what we're gonna do with the questions, like I said, we're not gonna really focus so much on what happened in the show. I just want to really know about how do you guys feel about you need to go about having your relationships as adults. And when we were kids, it's a lot easier to see each other just to try and start something right there. But now with adults, it's about intention. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really have to map out time to really have these relationships. So how do you guys feel about that?
I mean, things are gonna change as you get older. Like,
Yeah.
when you a kid, like, we went to the same elementary school and stuff where you see your boys every day,
single
or your
day.
friends
It's a lot
every
different,
day.
right?
Like, it's different. Nick, you're married
I'm about to say
now.
different circumstances,
Marcus,
right?
you have a kid. Like, things are gonna change, but you really gotta understand that the bond should never be weakened. Even though you can't be together as much, y'all still have years behind y'all relationship, and that's not gonna change. Even if you can't see each other as much, you just gotta make sure that y'all keep that bond alive whichever way you can. That's my opinion.
Yeah. That's good, bro.
I was going to say, it all falls back into communication and transparency.
Yeah.
If you got something going on, just let the group know and just make sure y'all keep that open contact and whatnot so y'all don't fall off with each other. But, I mean, if you communicate and just keep each other updated on what's going on in your lifestyles, y'all can always come together as a whole.
That's all I was saying.
And see each other. That's what he was saying at the beginning.
Yeah,
like,
that's all I was
communicate
saying.
and be transparent.
In saying that, you gotta hold your friends accountable. Like, to use a real life example, I wasn't being the friend to y'all that I needed to be. But y'all held me accountable and said something to me. You feel me?
Yeah.
If I didn't know that, I would have kept doing what I was doing, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that you spoke on it, I spoke my piece, and we were able to talk and get a dialogue with each other. We were able to handle the situation instead of just letting it fester. You feel me? We grown men. Like, it don't need to be no beef, none of that stuff. I didn't know y'all for too long for us to beef or fall out. We ain't falling now. We gonna talk and we gonna figure it out. Cool, we can take space and time away from each other. You know what I'm saying? A little distance, but we gonna come back. We still gonna be close. Like, we're not finna fall out about nothing.
Right. If only Issa and Molly could listen to the podcast. But go ahead, next person.
Issa, friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast. You gonna hear this?
Issa, y'all should have
I like
listened
the way
to the
you wrote it,
podcast before y'all did the season, man.
Me, I done had a personal vendetta with every single one of y'all, in case y'all didn't know.
Sound about right. Sound about right. Seriously.
If y'all didn't know, I still brought it to your front door, but that don't mean, like, we're not brothers. Like, of course, it always comes to the transparency, like everybody said. Like, it really depends on if you really want to make stuff work.
Yeah.
Because we've been so tight for so long, you know, we always gonna feel that bond with one another. But like a newer friend, bro, and you feel like they toxic for you, I would understand, you know, the little push off because we adults and you don't have to deal with that in your life.
Right.
But when we were growing up, we were younger, like our parents had like us to fall back on. Like I couldn't really beef with Marcus. He down the street. If my mama wanted to do something, she got to drop me off at Marcus' crib. So like we were forced into that. And like that's how we automatically have a bond and stuff now. So I mean, yeah, it really goes back to the bond that y'all really have a foundation on for real.
And it's about growing together.
Facts.
People grow apart all the time, man. You gotta be willing to support and foster growth in your friends, without feeling like jealous. You can't try to hold nobody back. And I think that was the big issue with Molly. Is like I don't think she was prepared for Issa's growth in this season. Like Issa came a long way from being, you know, just going out sad to really, you know, doing a lot for herself. And I don't know if Molly was ready to handle that in the show.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, Molly had a lot of internal complications going on, and she never voiced those things that was going on with her with Issa. And so as Issa grew, Molly was still stagnant. And so
with therapy sessions, by the way.
Exactly. And so she started to feel, I guess, left behind and felt offended by that distance between them two. So that's why they kind of fell out and stuff. But like I said, it goes back to transparency.
I don't know what Molly or
be quiet, bro.
What I'm saying is, it's about value, bro. Like what value can I bring to your life and what value can you bring to mine, bro? That's it.
I mean, that's real too. I think I'll piggyback off of Jack real quick, man. I think it also has to go into you have to be understanding. Like bro, you got to be understanding, man, because like how we said, it's so many different dynamics, so many different circumstances. You have to be willing to understand, like, hey, man, we going out to the club or something like that. Nick married, he probably ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta really get into those types of understandings with your people and really do it. So, guys, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get to our next one, man. So, this season saw Lawrence coming back into the spotlight. My boy. Shout out to Lawrence, man.
Shout out to my boy.
Now, guys, I got a spoiler alert for anybody that ain't seen it.
Yeah.
Guys, how would you feel if you are getting very serious with somebody? You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get serious with somebody, but your ex comes back, calls you, and lets you know, I'm pregnant.
Well, who, baby?
Yours.
Usually that's the
yours.
first
No, I get it. I understand. That's a great first question.
That's the first
right. That's a great question. Make sure.
That's usually the first two
now,
questions.
it comes back where you are the only partner, you know what I'm saying, that has been in that time period. Like I said, how do you go about that? Because it's putting Issa in a very bad situation with Lawrence. Do you want to stay with the person? Yes. Do you want to try and make it work with your ex who's now pregnant, about to have your kid, man? Like, I'll open up the floor.
Man, I'm not going to speak on too much, but, you know, low-key, somebody has been in this situation before the Issa thing.
That's good. Now, this is good insight, though. Yeah, so talk about it. Like, how did you go about that?
Oh, boy, I felt stupid pressure. Like, Cause like I had such a good thing going with Shawty, like, and that's what looked like Issa and Lawrence got.
Right.
Such a great thing, such a great dynamic.
I want them to work.
You feel me? But then like, you can't really account for the junk that you weren't there for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, a good point. Because I felt so attached to Shawty at the time, like naturally, I played.
You want to step in that spot? Yeah, you want to step in that spot?
That's real.
I was stepdaddy for a little minute, man. And like. It just, I don't know, it feels weird when it's not your child after a minute. But then again, I was an immature, I was like, what, 20, 21? It was an immature state of mind, but a lot of people, that's a lot of people's preference. You don't want to come into a child that's not yours.
Right.
But as we grow, you know, like Issa and Lawrence, they age maybe like 30s, like, sad to say, but in today's society, you kind of got to
you got to be ready for something like that.
Like Jack said in episode 2, contingency plan.
Fact. So I mean, like, yeah, I played the stepfather role for a little bit. And yeah, I was about to say, I don't know.
I was about to say you sure did drop an episode.
One of them episodes. Go watch them all. Just watch them all. You'll see it. You see what I'm talking about.
Good plug.
But I definitely understand what you're talking about with the. You got a plan for that though.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, there's a lot of things that come into play here, because you also got to look at Issa's perspective, and is she willing to stick around?
Exactly.
Because that's a lot of pressure. Because it's one thing if
pressure.
somebody has a kid already, and like they have their ex, they have the baby's mother in their life. There's a difference between that and she's pregnant.
Yeah,
because you got to think about, like, there may be a gender reveal. There's going to be ultrasounds. There may be a baby shower.
Like classes.
All
the type of stuff that they have to go to.
And he's going to
be
him doing his part. He's going to be involved in that. And you
Right.
never know what could be rekindled from the parents spending that much time together.
That's very
So, like,
true.
that's a risk that she would have to take on her part.
Yeah.
But as for him, like, he's just in a tough situation. I don't even know what I would do. Like, you can't make her get rid of the child, and of course she has that right to keep it.
Of course.
But it's like, damn, like,
It's
this
tough,
is
man.
this shit is
Yeah,
bad.
literally. I mean, that is.
Damn.
I would say that was my reaction when Lawrence came in and was like, "Yeah, Condola's pregnant." It was like,
Damn, it's like, damn, like, there's not much you can do besides.
yeah,
Damn, like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's what it comes back down to.
that's true.
You gotta go ahead and step up. And be
I'm talking your talk,
Yeah,
Jordan.
go ahead,
man. Jordan's taking the very mature approach.
hey, bro.
I just thought about it.
Man, bro, you on your own.
And that's real though. But to be honest, Issa is not gonna want to stick around through all that stuff going on, especially when the child is not there yet. She gonna have that stuff in the back of her mind, like she gonna have them doubts. So it's already gonna kind of mess up their relationship in that aspect. And then Lawrence gonna have to step up and be the father of that child, whether he wants to be around or not. So I'm about to say he gonna have to do it regardless. So it's like he gonna chalk it up as an L with Issa, in my opinion, and go ahead and just focus on Condola.
I mean, he don't really got to chop it up as an L.
She can make that decision.
Hold on.
What you mean focus on Condola? Like focus.
He gonna have to focus on her. He gonna have to focus on her.
So you don't think that it can work both ways?
What you mean he got to chop it up as an L?
Looking at Issa's personality, you gotta look at that too. I personally don't think she gonna be trying to. I don't know.
I mean,
But
she
at the
may be
same time, though,
forgiven.
Issa
She
is
might-
also getting to that point where we've seen a lot of growth with her
Growth.
this
That's what I'm
season,
saying.
where
Sure.
it's like she's being more willing to go through some stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all already know, man, her and Lauren's supposed to be together. They supposed to be together. And so it's like, now I have an opportunity coming back. Yeah, dang, you got somebody pregnant. But at the same time, I feel as if like they can make it work. I think Issa could not necessarily look past it. You can't look past it, but it's like I think she can make it work, man. I think that.
But yeah,
I'm gonna say, but just think about it, bro. Like y'all said, that child is not born. That child is not here. That
That's what I'm
child
saying. The child is not
being
even there yet.
that child is being grown and raised up. And when it comes out, Issa's gonna essentially have to say, "I'm gonna be a lifelong stepmom," and say, "I have to raise him up as he's my own, but he's not my own."
Yeah.
Then you gotta realize her and Condola have to partner to help raise that child too. So
Exactly.
you gotta work on that dynamic as well. So
That's true. So yeah, man. I mean, we can keep talking about it, man. It definitely is a very crazy situation, but we're gonna go ahead and get into our last topic from Insecure Season 4, man. And guys, this season, I would say another topic that was highlighted a lot was ghosting. And so we saw Nathan, he ghosted Issa, basically where it was like he went ghost, disappeared, but when he came back, he felt as if like he had a validated reason for him to disappear. Also, we saw Tiffany. She started ghosting her own husband because she was going through, some stuff with the pregnancy and going through all the stuff that comes along with that. Women, you guys are
That's
so
real.
strong
That's
because
real.
I'm telling you that
That's real.
stuff is
especially black
it's
women.
not a joke, man. That
That's
pregnancy
real.
stuff is very serious. So, guys, I just want to know, do you feel as if like there's a validated reason for you to ghost somebody? Nathan ghosted Issa, and he said it was because of his mental health. So do you guys feel as if like there's a reason why you should ghost somebody, like, and not explain anything
I
to
want Jordan to
them?
go first. He said, "No sir."
No, sir. I mean,
No, sir. He
like,
said, "No,
let's
sir."
talk about it. Like, yeah.
I was about to say, bro. like I always say, man, communication and being transparent. If
I
you got something going on, let the other person know. But personally, I've been ghosted before. It's not a good feeling, and I'm pretty sure people can agree with that in this room.
Yeah.
So being ghosted is definitely not. That's gonna ruin. That's gonna tarnish everything going forward.
And you don't even
Just
gotta
from that
go
one
into detail.
situation. Yeah,
you don't have to go into super duper
gotta-
detail.
yeah, say I got something
I feel
going
like
on.
he really could have just been like, "Hey, I got some stuff going on right now. I'm gonna hit you back."
And
You
that's
know
all
what I'm
you gotta
saying?
say.
Like,
Just be-
I just need I need some space right now. He didn't do any of that. He literally just went off the radar. So I'm just open it back up, man.
I mean,
Dang, we got another walk off from Mamba.
I mean, y'all, I don't think I should be saying this on camera, but y'all know.
Talk your talk.
I'm a ghoster.
Hey,
No, this is a good
But why?
perspective.
Why do you-
This is a
yeah,
great perspective.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
why
why do you feel as if like
Why
it is
not oppose?
okay for you to ghost somebody and you don't tell them
Validate,
anything?
yeah.
It's not good, bro. Like,
It's
I'm not proud of that.
Yeah.
But
I'm proud of it.
it's just so.
I mean, I've done it myself too. I can't lie. But
it's
I don't
just,
like it. I don't like it either.
Yeah, we
I
not
don't like
perfect,
it either,
man.
though.
Yeah,
Hey,
nobody's
I don't like
perfect, right?
I want my cake.
It's just
No.
like
Be careful.
foolish.
Like I always tell these boys, be careful. You never know who's watching the podcast.
If I go to you, I'm
The
sorry.
internet is forever.
I do care
Right.
about you, but like I was just really emotionally immature, and
Yeah.
I made myself unavailable, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to open up.
Yeah.
And the more I felt myself about to open up, the more I said, "Nah, I need to get away from this." It's not good to ghost, bro, but I'm also afraid of loving somebody again. You know,
Yeah.
like really opening myself up to that.
Talk to him.
If I'm just being
Nah,
honest,
man.
bro, like I can't, like right now, I really can't see myself really, truly caring somebody on that level ever again. Because if it doesn't work out, I know how I am. I love too hard.
Don't say ever.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't say
Don't
that.
say ever.
I mean, no, I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
that's what
I'm gonna
right
say it.
now.
I'm gonna say it because that's how I feel.
Live
Like,
your truth.
right now, I don't see it because I love too hard, and if I love too hard, and I have to go through a situation like I went through before, and it's a whole bunch of the summer of summers.
Mm-hmm.
But the
I'm
only
not gonna be.
the only thing I can
bro.
say back to that though is why I agree with Marcus to not say never is because now, bro, you are more informed. You're more equipped. You know how to move better. You know what to look for. You know what signs to look for you when you're trying to get into another relationship with somebody. So if you start to see those signs repeat themselves, you can remove yourself as opposed to letting yourself start to love too much.
Don't take that L. Learn that lesson, bro. Don't take that L.
Alright, so
I'm trying to tell you.
Catch that?
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Feel that though.
All right, so in my opinion, ghosting I don't think is okay because any relationship, whether it be romantic, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a business relationship, communication is the key, it's the foundation. Without it, the relationship is doomed to failure. I agree with that. But I also understand that situations are real and some people are dealing with things. And for one, I would say you gotta really talk, or you gotta talk through things yourself and figure it out. Because if you're in a position where you're likely to ghost somebody, and there's probably issues that you haven't healed from past relationships that you may want to address before you get into anything serious with somebody else. And if you have issues,
dig down them roots,
if you
man.
have issues going on, and you put yourself out there and you start a relationship with somebody, that's something you want to bring up in the beginning. So like if you actually do have to go ghost, it's not like it's brand new to them because you've already talked to them about it, so they have a heads up.
That's the only reason.
I think you need to hit the
That's
table
the
on that.
only
You ain't got the reason for Phil, bro.
That's real.
But no, I'm with
That's
you.
real talk. That's
serious.
the only reason I said I ain't with. I feel like ghosting is straight because if you put it all on the table,
It just sounds funny.
It's that funny.
I feel like
It's communicating ghosting.
Like
Yeah.
if you
Tell
put
them
it
how
all
you
on the
feel.
table, bro, and that person just don't get it, they don't comprehend. They like, no, I want what I want. This is what I want.
Yeah.
You feel me? What inch?
Yeah, like to that, you may say like you just say, oh, I need some space right now, but there are people that's gonna pry.
No,
And
no.
a lot of it is like,
No
I mean,
space.
they care for you, but sometimes you gotta understand and give people that space. So,
So who's
they-
the
I get
selfish
it.
one in that situation?
Woo! Everybody gotta be a little selfish sometimes. You feel me?
We could.
Both
Right.
sides is a little selfish. In that situation, I feel like both sides are selfish because one side is like, you need to talk to me. The other side is like, I need myself. I need my space
Yeah.
right now. So
So I done been ghosted, and I've been a ghoster before. I'm not, I'm
Trying to call me a contradicting.
You feel-
Talk to him.
Come on now.
No, bro,
I'm
but you
playing- go
said
ahead, bro.
you don't like it. I said, look,
You like it? Oh, you
let me
okay,
get in my
you like
bag.
it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I've been ghosted before.
Talk to him, Quan.
Get in your
I
bag.
feel
Big
like
Bird.
when you ghost, you got to know that it's gonna come with consequences. So you can't just
yeah.
be out here ghosted and then come back like, "Hey, I'm back, honey." No, like you know what you're doing when you go and ghost. They should know what they're doing when they go and ghost. It's not gonna be reciprocated well every time because like you know who you talking to. You should like everybody's saying you should communicate why. I know I be ghosting because like that's just my personal thing. Like I'm always to myself. Like I don't like opening up to anybody too much, and people can always say they there for you. But like, who really ever there for you? You feel me? Like Drake said, like, I hate when people say they feel me, man. Like, I hate that because like it'll be a long time before you ever feel me, and that's exactly how I be feeling. So like, if I want my space, bro, it's just gonna be me and the Lord.
It is a bar.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Stupid bar, but it's just gonna be me and the Lord. We got our isolation. Bow. That's it for that. But like, I'm not gonna come back to like what I know I potentially left because like. They not cool with me ghosting, and that's fine. Like, life goes on. I'm just gonna have to move to something else now. I'm not no Nathan, man. Double backhand. But I mean, it's ghosting real, bro.
But like in Tiffany's situation,
Oh, postpartum.
yeah, like I understand, and that's a very serious issue. But like, do you ghost? Is it okay to ghost your family, like your husband? Like that man is your family now. Is that okay, or is like the communication level heightened because you guys are actually married?
If you
Same thing.
ghost in that scenario, bro, y'all need to sit down and talk about the way that y'all communicate.
I was about to
communication.
Yeah, I was about to say to speak to that point. Me and married with that aspect, man. It's just like how Marcus said. It all goes back ultimately to your communication styles. Talia already know, and I already know. If we need some space, you need to just tell them.
Straight up.
Say it. You don't even gotta go into, like I was saying before. You don't even have to go into full detail. You establish that with your partner, guys. I was like, babe, I just need some time right now. You know what I'm saying? I just need some time.
And it's really that simple.
And y'all are on the great level like that. You should know. I got you. I'll come back in a little bit and I'll check on you.
Right. That's all it is.
That's it. So, guys, as you can see, Insecure, we can go on and on and on about Insecure because so many things happen. Shout out again to Issa Rae with Season 4. We're looking forward to Season 5 as well. So, make sure y'all stay with us. Stay kicking it with us on the NTL podcast where the insight is always going to meet real talk, the most lucrative podcast. You did.
All right, we're finna get into our scripture today. This one comes to us from Galatians 5:1. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm, then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. And that's the scripture. We just celebrated Juneteenth this past weekend. Of course, we know that the fight is not over.
Right.
We know that we are not free. We are free-ish, as people have been saying on social media.
Correct.
And we got a long way to go. So, please bow your heads. Let's get a prayer and close this out.
Yes, sir.
Dear Lord, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for allowing us to see this day. Thank you for all the progress that we have made throughout centuries of being in this country. Thank you for the progress that's soon to come. Thank you for everybody that's out there on the front lines. Thank you for everybody that's preaching and talking and spreading information on social media. Thank you for everybody that's one of us that is doing their part to contribute to the forward movement that we're seeing. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. And let us not take it for granted. Let's make the most of it and be able to see a permanent change that will not only last for this generation, but for many centuries to come. Amen.
Amen. Appreciate that, Jack. Giving us a great word right there. Great devotional, great scripture. So, guys, another episode is done. Y'all know what time it is. Clap that thing up, man. Yes, sir, man. So, guys, again, celebrating Juneteenth. Father's Day. Make sure you guys are having a great weekend. Make sure you guys stay safe. And also, as always, make sure y'all following us on the Instagram NTL podcast. Subscribe to us on the YouTube. Make sure y'all following us on the Spotify, man. And as you can see, I'm solo dolo today, man. But we got the merch, man. You know what I'm saying? Get it. It's out there. Make sure you DM the page. Let us know your size, the color, everything like that, man. And we'll get you straight. So, guys, Getting ready to sign off from another great episode. It is your boy, Mr. Nick to the J Cross.
It's your boy Cam HK behind the camera.
It's your boy Jack. Jack, one thing I want to say, man, yesterday was Father's Day. Love your father with all your heart every day. You never know when it'll be his last.
Absolutely.
It's your boy Jay here. I love y'all, man.
The young bull, young Marco, man. Yes, sir.
Boy, Kwame's in Grace, future father.
Mr. Brew.
What's up, man?
Hey, young
Appreciate y'all, man.
And Big Marco. Shout out to my little Marco.
Shout out, Deuce, man.
Shout out to
Big Deuce.
He gonna be on one of the episodes soon. Y'all stay tuned.
I'm talking never, too late. Podcast.